Hi guys, it's Sandy. I'm on vacation right now, but I bring you a video anyway. I hope you enjoy this one. I call it Copic Chalking. This card is going to use this stamp set from Winnie and Walter. It's a great stamp set with lots of super sentiments on it, and you can make all kinds of sentences and different kinds of things for whatever occasion you want. And I have put them together into "You Are More Than Awesome" to stamp onto mine. And I did that ahead of time and stamped it on the card just so you don't have to sit and watch me do that. So stamps very nicely. And I can now save this block and make a whole bunch of these. And now that I have the sentiment set up, I'm going to use a penny black stencil. And this one is actually very dear and near to my heart because this is the one that I discovered, this little crazy technique that I'm going to show you. I was trying to do some airbrushing with this. And when I did the airbrushing, it blew underneath of the edge of this and made just the giant mess. It was all sploogey. I couldn't figure out how to adhere this down so that all of it would stay. I just kept having all the kinds of issues. So what I ended up doing was cleaning off my my stencil. And I was wiping it and using some, since I was using Copic, I was using the Various Ink colorless blender bottle to do it. And this wonderful thing appeared, which I have now turned into a technique. So let's show you how to do it. You can do it with airbrushing the stuff on there, but I'm just going to color on there simply because I can. And it'll show you that you don't have to have an airbrush in order to do this. But if you want to blow color on with an airbrush, it really gives a different kind of mixture of colors. So I want my flower to be a bunch of different pinky colors and have a little splash of maybe some yellow in a few spots. And put a little yellow there. And maybe I'll just do a drop of dark purple at the base of it. Okay. Now that looks a little crazy, right? Well, we're going to take a paper towel and we're going to get it damp. And by damp, I mean, you know when you put a paper towel or something around a glass that has ice in it and it's all wet, and you just get that slight dampness? That's all you want. You don't want a ton of it. Because if you start getting it too wet, you're going to get a whole different effect. So I'm going to place the flower where I want it. And if you're worried about getting some stuff over here, I would put a little piece of Post-it right there so you don't end up making a mess. And I'm going to also hold it down over here with a Post-it. I'm going to be holding it down on this, but it's okay. Anyway, this is a little bit damp, and I'm just going to pull the color into the flower. Let me zoom this in so you can see this better because the effect of it is very cool. Okay, now it's not going to focus. Okay, there we go. Now you can see. So I am going to just pull the color with just a little bit of this colorless blender on here. The wetter it gets, the less chalky it's going to look. So if you don't want it to look chalky, then. So I'm just going to pull the color in and I can smush it in circles. I can go at different angles. See, I added that dark color down here, which is adding some burnished color down at the bottom. Pulling in the orange on that petal. And then some yellow in here. And if I want to add another petal in here, some detail of another one, then all I have to do is add a little bit more marker right here and just do the top of that petal. Just pull a little bit of that color in. Just, you know, if you start pulling in too much, you're going to end up with one giant chalky blob. But I want just a little bit of a burnished edge on an additional petal. And look at that! How beautiful did that come out, huh? Gorgeous flower. Isn't that pretty? There you see it, more normal card size. And now I can add some greens. And I can add a little bit of the petal by scrunching some green on here. And maybe I'll do a little bit of blue just to add a pop of something different. And it's pretty safe to add your color off on another piece of scratch paper so you don't accidentally color through it. And a little bit more of that here. Okay, so now I'm going to lay that in right where I want that stuff to stay and hold it down. And now I'm going to use totally different colors, so I want to use a different portion of my little paper towel. And I thought that was damp, but it's not damp enough. And now I'm going to push the color again right through into that little teeny tiny stem spot. A little bit more here. And now I'm getting into the flowers again, so I can go back to those colors. I just don't want to pull the wrong colors in there if I didn't want to pull some greens in there if I didn't have to. But I love the chalky look that you can get from this technique. Isn't that beautiful and soft? There are other media that you can use to create a similar effect. I have tried it with distress markers or water-based markers and using just a little bit of a damp paper towel. And I do mean damp. If you get something too wet using this technique, you're going to end up with a really smooth texture, which is fine. But if you want the chalky look, you want it to be pretty dry so that you just drag that color across the surface and it'll remain looking like chalk. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. If you liked it, please click the like button in the doobly-doo down below. Make sure you subscribe so you get more videos from me every single week. And I also want to invite your comments on both the content of the video and the stencil technique, as well as my beginning and ending of my video. My intro and outro are brand new. Tried them last week and this week. Want to know what you think? The little swirly thing with the yellow and the flowers and the, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye.